When you think about a massive engineering project, your mind probably goes to, I know, a skyscraper or a bridge.
Right. Something concrete you can see and touch.
Exactly. But there's this incredible, complex machine made of organized sound that's just as impressive.
And it only exists for maybe 2 hours at a time. The modern symphony orchestra.
It's one of the most incredible examples of teamwork you'll ever find.
Oh,
So today we're going to dive into its structure, the technology, and how it all comes together.
our mission is to really understand how this huge group, sometimes almost 100 people, is built and run.
And to do that, you have to start at the beginning. Before these huge concert halls, the orchestra was a much smaller thing.
It really was. You have to go back centuries to the Baroque period. The ensembles were small, designed for intimate rooms and royal courts.
Oh, chamber music.
Exactly. But composers started experimenting, combining strings and winds, and they realized the potential for drama and huge emotion. The goal was always to create a bigger, more powerful sound.
But the composers can't do it alone. The instruments themselves had to evolve, right? You need better tools to make a bigger sound.
That's the crucial technological step. Instrument makers were constantly refining their craft. They improved everything, from the bows for the strings to the keys on the woodwinds.
And what was the goal? Just making them louder?
Louder, yes, but also more consistent. Making instruments that could handle more complex music and, really importantly, stay in tune for longer.
Which paid off. By the 19th century, you finally get orchestras big enough to fill these massive new concert halls.
It's a total shift from music for a small room to what is basically architecture made of sound. But when you go from 10 musicians to 80, you need a manager. You need one person coordinating all that complexity.
Which brings us to the conductor, the undisputed leader of the entire operation.
They stand on that raised platform, the podium, so everyone can see them.
And they're holding that little white stick, the baton. Is that just for keeping time?
Primarily, yeah. The baton is there to show the beat and the exact speed of the music, what musicians call the tempo. It's how 80 people can start and stop at the exact same millisecond.
But there's more to it than just counting, right? I mean, they have that huge book in front of them, the musical score.
Right, the score has every single note for every instrument, and the conductor's real job isn't counting, it's interpretation.
What do you mean by that?
They've spent weeks studying that score, deciding exactly how the music should feel. They use their hands, their face, everything to control the dynamics.
The volume, how loud or soft everyone plays.
Exactly. If they want a passage to sound frantic or if they want it to be a whisper, those instructions come entirely from the conductor in real time.
So it's all nonverbal communication guiding this whole group of experts. That's a huge amount of pressure.
It is. The musicians only see their own part. The conductor has to hear the complete sound in their head all the time, making instant adjustments. It's an incredible mental feat.
Okay, so let's get into the musicians themselves, the workforce. We should start with the biggest family, right? The strings.
The string section is the absolute heart of the orchestra. It's the largest section, easily 50 or more players, and they sit closest to you, the audience.
And they do most of the heavy lifting, melodically speaking.
They really do. Let's break it down. You have 4 main instruments. The smallest is the violin.
Which plays the highest notes. That's usually the main melody you recognize.
That's the one. Then you move down to the viola. It's a little bigger, with a deeper, warmer sound.
They're sort of the unsung heroes, right?
I'd say so. The violas are the glue. They fill in the middle harmonies that give the music its richness, often without getting that main melody spotlight.
Next up, the cello, held between the knees.
And it produces that incredibly rich lyrical sound that so many people love. The cellos are versatile. They can play high melodies or low supporting lines.
And finally, the biggest one of all.
The double bass. It's massive, often taller than the player. It provides that deep, fundamental foundation for the whole orchestra. Without it, the music would just feel like it was floating.
And they all use a bow, made of horsehair, to make the strings vibrate. But they also have that other technique, pizzicato.
Ah, yes. Pizzicato is where they just pluck the strings with their fingers. It creates this short, sharp, almost clicking sound.
A total change in texture.
Exactly. And speaking of visuals, if you watch the string section, you'll see them all move their bows in perfect sync. It's essential for a unified sound, but it's also just breathtaking to watch.
Okay, so that's the strings, the foundation. But when a composer wants a specific splash of color, a different voice, they turn to the woodwinds.
The woodwind family specializes in adding those unique colors and textures. They sit in the middle of the orchestra, right behind the strings.
And most of them use a reed, right? That little piece of wood.
Most of them, yes. The reed vibrates when air is blown through it, and that's what makes the sound. Some use two reeds, some use one.
Does that make a big difference?
A huge difference. The oboe and the bassoon, for example, use two reeds joined together, a double reed. And that gives them a very distinct, penetrating, almost nasal sound that can cut right through the strings.
At a single reed.
That would be the clarinet.
Hmm.
The single reed gives it this enormous dynamic range. I mean, it can play an absolute whisper and then swell to an incredibly loud, full tone. It's one of the most versatile instruments in the whole orchestra.
But there's one that doesn't use a reed at all.
The flute, it's the exception. The player just blows across a hole, kind of like blowing across the top of a bottle, and that creates a very pure, clear sound.
They often get these really difficult solo parts.
They do, and the breath control required is just phenomenal. You have to manage your air so precisely to maintain a beautiful tone. It takes incredible stamina.
So we have the strings and the woodwinds, but when the music needs pure, unadulterated power, we turn to the back row, the brass section.
The brass section delivers brilliance and sheer volume, and that's why they're at the very back. If they sat any closer, they just drown out everyone else.
And how they make sound is completely different. No bow, no reed.
No, it's the player's own body. They create the sound by vibrating their lips. It's a technique called buzzing against a metal mouthpiece.
And originally those instruments were pretty limited, weren't they?
Very. But the invention of valves and keys changed everything. It allowed them to play a full melodic scale, transforming them from just signaling instruments into real voices.
So who are the main players here?
Well, you've got the trumpet. It has that bright, piercing sound that can be heard over the entire ensemble, perfect for fanfares.
And the French horn, with that beautiful circular shape.
It's fascinating. It's brass, but its sound is so smooth and majestic that it blends incredibly well with the woodwinds. It's like a bridge between the two families.
And then there's the one that slides.
The trombone. It uses that sliding tube to glide between notes, which creates a really signature, smooth sound no other instrument can quite replicate.
And holding down the low end.
The tuba. It's the lowest, heaviest, and requires the most air. It provides that deep, rolling bass you can feel in your chest. The sonic anchor for the section.
That just leaves one group. The ones who hit things. The percussion section.
Percussion covers anything that is hit, shaken, or scraped. They're all about rhythm and dramatic effects.
I'm picturing a huge drum set.
Well, you have things like the snare drum and cymbals, but the most important percussion instrument in the orchestra is actually the timpani.
The big kettle drums at the back, what's so special about them?
They can be tuned to specific notes. They're not just rhythmic, they're melodic. So they can support the harmony of the orchestra while providing that powerful, driving beat.
And you also have xylophones and things like that, right?
Exactly, melodic percussion. But for any percussionist, precision is everything. Their sounds are so sharp and noticeable that if you're off by even a fraction of a second, everyone hears it.
Which brings us to how they're all arranged on stage. The seating chart isn't random, is it? It's a very careful strategy.
It's basically acoustic engineering. The whole layout is designed for optimal sound balance. Generally, the higher-pitched instruments like violins and flutes are at the front and center.
And the low notes on the other side.
Correct. The cellos and double basses are usually on the right. And like we said, the loudest instruments, brass and percussion, are way in the back, so their sound can travel over everyone without being overpowering.
And the concert hall itself helps with that, right? Those big curved panels behind the stage.
Those are acoustic shells. They're essential. They reflect the sound waves out toward the audience, making sure you get the full power and detail of the music. Without them, a lot of the sound would just get lost.
All of this comes together in the performance. But that final product is built on hours and hours of rehearsal.
Absolutely. The concert is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Rehearsal is where 80 people who have all practiced their own parts learn how to listen to each other, and that is a completely different skill.
The conductor is really working them hard during that time, I imagine.
Constantly stopping them. Trombones, you're too loud there. Strings, that transition needs to be smoother. It demands incredible discipline.
And the musicians are marking up their sheet music the whole time.
With pencils, constantly, making little notes to themselves. It's the only way 80 people can perform with the focus and precision of a single unit.
Now, the symphony orchestra is sort of the peak of this idea, But it's not the only kind of large ensemble.
That's right. You have variations. The concert band or wind ensemble, which is really popular in schools, has no string section. It's just woodwinds, brass, and percussion.
Or in jazz, the big band.
Right, with its saxophones, trumpets, and trombones. You even have smaller groups, like a string orchestra, that only use the string family. The principles of teamwork are the same.
And no matter how good your stereo is, hearing it live is a totally different experience. Why is that?
It's physical. In the hall, you are literally feeling the sound waves from all those acoustic instruments moving the air around you. No speaker can truly replicate that collective energy.
And the audience etiquette, being quiet and holding applause, really helps create that immersive atmosphere.
It does. And, for any of you listening, there's a real connection here. Many professional musicians started in school ensembles when they were 12 or 13. It teaches teamwork, focus, and studies show it strengthens skills in things like math and reading.
The symphony orchestra is really a remarkable lesson in managing complexity. You have dozens of individual parts creating one massive, collective, powerful sound.
And remember, every great performance you hear is the direct result of that focused work and complete synchronization between every single player and their conductor.
Keep learning and listening. Good luck with your studies.